Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach Podcast. My name is Carla Fitz. I am a certified life coach, wife, and mom of two beautiful little girls. My hope for this podcast is to offer support and empower other Catholic women to live their most authentic life, to share life coaching tools from a Catholic perspective in order to help you live a more fulfilling life filled with peace, joy, and abundance. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Catholic Life Coach Podcast. I am so blessed to be here with you guys as I feel every single week. This week, I thought I would get into something that has been in my life a lot lately, and it is overcoming doubt. So often when God asks us to do something, we attempt to do it on our own. We tend to do it ourselves. He's saying, hey, say yes to me in this big thing that I'm asking you to do. And we say, all right, I'll do it. Notice the difference? I'll do it. Okay, I won't do it with you. I'll do it by myself. I will try to do everything in my power to do. And when we find is that we start doubting ourselves, what we find is that we're not actually able to do it on our own. We try really hard to get busy, to sometimes I think too busy, that we don't even remember the reason why we started to do this in the first place. We get so busy that we disconnect from the why we did this in the first place. We become overwhelmed, which then causes us to doubt ourselves. We start doubting the whole process. I know this because I'm human. I have been there, done that. In fact, I am pretty sure that I do this kind of thing weekly. I'm just constantly in this state of mind where I know how to manage my mind, and I will forever be thankful to Jesus that he gave me the authority and the knowledge of life coaching and managing my mind, because otherwise I have no idea where I would be right now, just constantly crying on the couch, unable to move. And this is why life coaching is so powerful combined with our faith, because we can't do life coaching without the knowledge that God is walking with us in every step. This is why I'm so passionate about mixing life coaching with our faith, because it is such an empowering thing. And I also think God uses life coaching as a tool to help you carry these crosses that we have in our life. It helps us to manage our minds. It helps us to manage our emotions, right? He gave us our mind in order for us to utilize it during our life. But it is so important that we learn how to best use it so that we are not sabotaging ourselves. We are not constantly in fear and stuck. And a lot of times I hear clients say, I am just so stuck. I have no idea how to get out of this rut. Well, the thing is, we need both things. We need to remind ourselves that we are walking with Jesus in this journey. And we also need to remind ourselves that he gave us authority. I think this is particularly important when we are asked to do something big, scary, a new task is ahead of us, right? This past week, we talked about saying yes to God. And when we say yes to God, we are saying yes to a bunch of emotions that we will have because this is uncomfortable. This is new. Our brains do not like to be uncomfortable. And so it's going to come up with a billion reasons, right? Reasons why not to do it, why this is crazy. And what we find ourselves thinking often when we have this task ahead of us are things like, there's no way. This is not going to work. This is crazy. I'm crazy. But what we have to pay attention to is the effect that these thoughts have on our emotional well-being. Because if what you are spending time in your mind thinking and believing are things like, I can't do this, there's no way, I'm not strong enough for this, I am not smart enough for this, I'm not good enough, these thoughts can't possibly lead you to feeling a positive, uplifting emotion like motivated, encouraged, and joy and excitement, right? A lot of time I hear my clients say, I just feel stuck. And the longer they believe that they are stuck and that there's no way out of this particular place that they're at, the longer it takes. The more that thought wants to be proven true, the more stuck we feel. So if you are believing thoughts that are not uplifting, that are not increasing your self-confidence or your confidence in God, these thoughts will only lead you to feeling discouraged, frustrated, stuck, confused. It will lead you to feeling dismotivated, incapable. These emotions then lead us to act a certain way, right? Because when we are feeling motivated, we show up, we do the work, we ask questions, we figure things out, we pray, we trust. But when we are feeling dismotivated, when we are feeling confused, it is going to lead us to act a very different way. What we will start to do is question if God really called us to do this thing. We will start to come up with excuses to not do it or reasons why this is insane, why we shouldn't do it. You start to question, should I be doing this thing? Should you be doing the thing that you said yes to in the first place? It also leads us to forget and ignore that this was very clear at one point in time. At one point, you felt very called by God to do this thing, this crazy, exciting, terrifying thing. He told you, yes, I want you to do this thing, or I want you to try this thing, or I want you to change this thing. And in that moment, you knew it was Him talking. But what your brain will start to do when you start really stepping into doubt and self-doubt is that it will try to convince you that this isn't what He said in the first place. This isn't what happened. It's probably my head making it up. And what we do in this is forget that God is bigger than our brains. We forget that even though this might have been a thought that popped in our head, who do you think popped it in there? I think it is a mistake to believe that it just happened at random. It's a mistake to think that God is not in action in those moments. I think it's a mistake to not pay attention to the things that are happening around you that are leading you to something. Because God uses every moment in our life to lead us to where He needs us to go. The other thing is that when He calls us to do new, scary, big things, what He's really calling us to do is to trust. He's calling us to learn to surrender to His will, to follow Him. I think so often of the apostles, right? Like He goes and He says, hey, follow me. And they have to drop everything they're doing and follow Jesus. No questions asked, just follow. Okay? And He leads them, right? Each step of the way, He's leading them. But they have to leave their own ways, their old ways behind in order to follow Jesus. I've shared with all of you before, a little bit, that God has been working in my heart and in our family to go out and to do something new, something scary. It's exciting, but it's scary, and it is very different than what my husband and I had in mind for our family. And in the process, God has been very present in reminding us that we can't do this on our own. But I'm not gonna lie, I am the kind of person that likes to plan things well ahead of time. And in order for me to start planning, I need to know things. I need to know how things are gonna happen. I need to know when they're going to happen. I need to know where they're gonna happen, what I need to do. And I like to know details, specific details if possible. This past weekend, I found myself right in the situation where I was doubting. And I found myself asking God for some details. I was praying and asking Him to tell me when, where, and how, especially the how. Tell me how this is going to work out, because I don't quite understand it. And of course, I always feel like Jesus is looking at me, smiling at me and saying, oh, you're so funny. What He gave me was this. What you need is not knowledge. What you need is courage to do this. You already know enough. Trust and have courage. You see, courage is not really a comfortable emotion. I think I always think of courage as something exciting and a very happy feeling, when in reality, courage feels more like fear. Courage is an equation. The way I see it, courage is fear plus trust that equals action. Because with courage, we take steps in fear, trusting that He is with us. Now, it doesn't feel amazing, but I do know this. I know that the more we exercise courage and we take more and more courageous actions, our faith grows. So when you find yourself doubting your own capabilities, remind yourself of these 3 truths. The first one is, I can't do this alone, but I am not alone. The second is, taking courageous actions will help me grow in faith. And the third is, He called me by name. He gave me my worth in Him, and I trust Him. The other thing that I will encourage you to do is to acknowledge your brain's fears and doubts. They are there for a reason. Like I said this past week, your brain's job is to protect you. It is always trying to protect you. It is not throwing fears at you just to bug you, right? Your brain is trying to stay safe. But you need to remind yourself of your own authority and remind yourself why you're doing this. Remind yourself who you are doing this for, and also remind yourself that you are not meant to do this on your own. Remind yourself of who is walking with you in this journey. One of my dear friends, saints, is Carlo Acutis. Carlo said these wise words that I have carried with me since I went to visit him in Assisi this past February. He said, "Not me, but God." There are times for you to move. There are times for you to pray. There's time for you to take courageous actions. But there's also times to let God. Let Him act in you, through you, and for you. Plan, take action, and surrender to do His perfect plan. I hope you spend time acknowledging these doubts, but also letting them go. Spend some time in prayer, sharing with God what it is that you're doubting, because honestly, He already knows what you're struggling with. So you may as well get it out and share it with Him. And let Him carry you through this journey that you are getting into. I am so excited to see what you will create, to see what He will do in your life, and what you will allow Him to do with you. I will see you next week. And until then, God bless. If you are interested to find out how to overcome self-doubt, how to overcome self-sabotage, then make sure to check the link in the description. I am going to be giving a 2-day workshop completely free for you to learn how to stop overeating, stop self-doubt, and stop self-sabotaging. It is going to be so much fun, so make sure that you join this free 2-day event. Link is in the description. I will see you next week.